Hello all, Dr. Fox back here with you, and yes, you see it, it's the BLIZZCon Virtual Ticket officially finally live, and we got some other updates. We'll get into that right up next. Dr. Fox here, back along with you. Cat, aka Mora. She's cleaning next to me. That's why I'm chuckling. I'm not up on screen today because we got a lot of things to show you all. I'm very excited about that. Of course, finally, officially, the BlizzCon ticket has finally and officially gone live since last week. Of course, it went live a couple days right after my last update, so I had to wait till this update so I can get into it. Lot of fun little, exciting little things that you can get. Some would say, nah, too expensive. There's the pros and cons for everything. So one thing I'd like to show you all, at least for the WoW anyway audience, is there's some different things in there. You can get some Illidan skins for Overwatch. And of course, speaking of that, Overwatch will be out on Nintendo Switch next week for those that are interested in that. For World of Warcraft folks, at least on the retail side of things, we'll be able to show you here well, when it does work. Okay, that's wacky tobacco. There we go. I was like, my broadcast was going great until then, and now we need an edit, right? Well, here we go. We are finally in here. We are going to load. Yeah, I have my character currently at Mechagon. But at least for the Alliance side, there's a couple of options out there. Yes, we know it's stuck again behind another pay grade. Some people have issue with that. Well aware. Let's not get into those issues right now. Let's just show some of these off. And for the Alliance side, we're able to show you. Here's Finduin. He's basically an animation of Anduin. And he'll put up his shield. If you remember one of those cutscenes where he used his shield. You can also see our transmog I have on here. The woolly onesie, if you will. Of course, how great would that be just to be able to hang out, wear your woolly onesie for real, and have your woolly onesie on your character. Just like that. As you can see, it's feet. It's all kinds of pieces. And you see I even have the long Trek quest line for the waste of time right there on my belt as well. That one's been out for some time. Just showing you that. That is the Alliance side options for onesies. And then you can also see that if you're on Horde side, we'll get right on over to that side here in just a few moments. We're going to flip to servers. They have some other available items in StarCraft 2. And if you want to see the extensive list there, don't worry, I'll put the link in that you can go check it out. And there's actually little short videos that actually describe them better. And Hazelnutty Games has a nice little description on one of her Almost Friday updates as well that you could definitely check out. Here's the onesie on one of my Demon Hunters for the Horde side. And as you can see, there's a cute little one behind her. It's Gilvanis, based on Sylvanas. And if you wait long enough, they'll bring out their own little pet, of course. And she'll do the dive from one of her Banshee Scream from another cutscene that came up. So just heads up, spoilers on these. I would have said spoilers prior to starting. So she does do some animations that are very, very cute when it comes to all that as well. So that is at least a few things that start us off. Yes, no mount, but we did get a couple of those this year and a onesie, as you can see. The Brewfest just wrapped up. We have Dark Moon Fair going live today in retail as well. I am excited to announce that in retail, I helped my guildie. We finally officially hit flying last week. I was so stoked and so excited about that. We were able to hunt them down as well. And then if we shift gears, and also because of the live 8.2.5 patch that's now been live for a while, I've also been slowly leveling my beautiful new goblin here. She is still got her Brewfast garb. It'll probably disappear because I haven't logged in this morning since Brewfest ended. So, and I've got some work to do. I've got a few of them to run down to Darkmoon Fair this week as well. So I thought, well, you know, this is a good time. Now that the patch is live, I'll have the opportunity maybe to finally start being able to level her a bit while we're doing that. And we've been also plugging away with the other guildie. We've helped him be able to unlock the exploration for all of BFA, including the Zaldazar Islands out there. And we just got the Mechagon Island Explorer unlocked. We got the Nazajar Explorer unlocked. Now all that's left now is rep grinding all of those factions. And then he will finally have flight in BFA. So we're slowly plugging away. We also got to get him another ring and get that little upgrade as he goes. We know that as you continue through Mechagon, we will be able to get a ring and work your way through Nazajar at some aspects. But we still keep an eye out on the world quests as well. Grind a few of those as the daily emissaries come up as well. So that's some of the things that we're working on that side. Let me quickly jump over to World of Warcraft Classic because we got a few things to discuss on the Classic side of things. Nothing too huge or elaborate here, but I would just like to go over a few things if that would help any as well. You can see this is the one that and I'm excited. My brother was able to make us all some hoodies. That's where we've gotten to now. We're almost 25. Been plugging away at some of this great. You can see I finally earned this. This is a huge step. I finally earned my beautiful tabard. It has no insignia yet because I have already given my brother some gold, almost 3 gold already. We're each all going to pitch in about 3 gold a piece, so we can be able to help get that insignia created. But I do have my tabard. I'm very, very excited about that. And some of the things I wanted to just kind of go over really quick in Classic. The Phase 2 is just around the corner. There's a possibility maybe it'll be announced at BlizzCon most likely. It could come possibly somewhere around November, maybe first of the year. We'll have to see. Things are kind of, we're getting some mixed signals right now, so we'll have to wait for an exact tentative date. Things are kind of bouncing around on that aspect of it. But some of the things that I'm going to, that'll help us segue into our Q&A and our question to kind of wrap things up for this week is someone asks, there's a lot of white items, Dr. Fox, in Classic. Are there any real important ones that you think we should and or hang on to? Well, here's just a couple that may or may not be able to help you in the future. I just know that they have been very helpful in the past, and we'll have to see how they lay out in this aspect. But 5 white items, or at least a few more than 5, let me put it that way, of items you might want to consider to hang on to as you're questing and leveling. And I know it's difficult. If you're able to make a bank alt or mail alt, that would greatly help this, because generally you're like, well, I'm already out of room unless you can get to the point where you're able to start sending all your alts that you newly create large enough bags to be able to hold some of these items. Just a few tips and tricks there, if that would help you any. The Wicked Claws, it's going to take 40 of those to make things like the Ironheart Helm. On the Alliance side, the Wolf's Helm. There's the Barbaric set if you hang on to the large fangs. Small eggs, of course, may not be exactly useful at the moment, but they will be coming up for Winter Veil in Classic if you're looking forward to Winter Veil in Classic as well. Things like the Giant Egg will make some of the best foods for you, like the Monster Omelet, the Clamlet Surprise. One of the big ones that I remember my brother telling me about some time ago, and I totally forgot about this one, especially as the phases begin to continue to slowly come out, is eventually when we do get the Darkmoon Fair, speaking of Darkmoon Fair going live this week in retail, hopefully soon when the Darkmoon Fair does go live, you'll want to definitely hang on to Vibrant Plumes. They look like little feathers. And you can exchange those eventually for about 12 Dark Moon Fair tickets. Something to consider there. The long, elegant feathers you get from the griffins to make the good old Admiral's hat. A lot of folks are after that one. I would love to see myself get an Admiral's hat eventually. That'd be really, really cool. The small flame set. Be able to make things like the Dragon Breath Chili, the fire potions. Those will especially come in handy when you're at endgame there during that one of the last big, large, going after Ragnaros. Spider silk. We're just starting to get to one of the areas that's going to start dropping those. That's great for, especially for my leather working. I'm working on for others that are using leather working right now. The elemental earth, wind, fire, and air. Not to be confused with the musical group, Earth, Wind, and Fire. The fused wiring as well will come in handy. And boy, I'm hoping I can still make one of those little Jeeves for my engineer at some point as well. It'd be really, really cool. Magic dust for those out in Westfall, those dust devils that we usually try to get away from, will also come in handy eventually. And the last Q&A is a top 5 add-ons. Now, I do have another video out there as well. You can see I put a link to one of the videos that Frostamus put out some time ago, and it's been great. And I also use Twitch. I installed the Twitch add-on, and that would allow you to search for some of these great little ones. But I'll give you a quick little look-see, just to review very, very briefly, because we already have a more extensive video going over all these here. We've got the Arbar Classic, Auctionator, Bag Brother, Bagnon. That was actually referred to me by one of my guildies. He likes to use that one. Class Portraits, Elite Player Frames, Latrix Maps, Omni CC, Simple Map, Tiny Tool Map, Trinket Map, Menu. And one of my biggest right here is the Questi Beta that I like to use as well. Now that is for Classic. I'm going to quickly jump right back. I would have stayed in on retail and gone over it then, but I wanted our segues to continue and then integrate back as I go to sort of wrap us back into retail as we kind of wrap up, no pun intended, on our weekend update. So at least some of the top 5 add-ons, I mean, I have more than that, but I think some of the most top that I would not go without, definitely would be Auto Vendor. That's this one right here. If you'd like Auctionator, you can use that. I generally don't usually use Altaholic, only because unless you have a really good broadband and a good latency, it can really drain that and cause a lot of drain. So I only turn that on during time walking when I'm trying to track my time walking tokens that I can get. But to put that one aside, really the biggest I would suggest is, and you don't have to do Azeroth Autopilot. I like to have that on. It comes in handy for me. You can actually go into the settings of it and turn off so that you can still see the cutscenes if you'd like. It defaults to cutting through all cutscenes. So if you're playing along, you're like, well, Dr. Fox, I haven't been able to see a single cutscene. I'm not sure what happened. Some don't like to. Some will like to go to YouTube and just search for the cutscenes. But then some are confused because they don't know where the cutscenes fall into the gameplay. So you can open up the settings and turn that on. I like to turn back on the cutscenes because I still enjoy some of the cutscenes. But sometimes when I'm in dungeons, I have to exit very, very quickly because I'm trying to keep up with everybody else. So that's not a exact one to have to keep. But let me disable all so I can show you the most important ones that I would definitely not go without. Auto Vendor. That is great because it saves you so much time. You can also tweak the settings on that as well and play around with it. One of the biggest things, especially if you're a transmog collector like myself, I love and would not go without Can I Mog It. This one's been great for me because what we'll do is show you a star on the item, and that means that I have not learned that transmog, and it means I can send that to, say, one of my other characters that might have plate mail or mail or leather or cloth. And then I'll send it over there, and I'll quickly pop open the character, grab it from the mail, add the new transmog, and then I'm just tickled pink and ready to roll for the next day. So let's continue down the list. A big one I would not ever go without is Garrison Mission Managers. These are amazing for me because not only have they worked since Draenor, but each one, Legion, BFA, all of these really help with your mission tables, especially because sometimes I'll sit there back in the earlier days before I either knew about this one or if it was already out by that point and I just didn't realize it. Anyway, with that said, what the real point was is I'm sitting there going, I'm trying to experiment. I don't know which person to. Maybe you want to experiment. That's fine. I just know for me, it's more efficient for me to go, oh, this is great. You turn on Garrison Mission Manager, and it will give you the best options of which characters to pull through it. There are some other great add-ons that work similar to that one. I just happen to use that one. There's another one I remember trying that you can click a button. It'll automatically fill them all in and do all your missions for you if you hold down like the control tab. Things like that will help. As you can see here, you can also use things like Gathermate 2 come in handy, especially right now for the beam out. If you don't want to have to spend ungodly amounts of money on the little jellies to help you grind out getting that beam out as well. There is handy notes available for you to pick up treasures. I highly recommend that, especially if you're bored with just doing regular quests and you want to be able to just fly around starting in, say, Draenor or even as far back as Mists of Pandaria. And you could put on things like you'd put the handy notes, and then you would also do one down here like Pandarian treasures. And that way you could just fly around and just pick those up. You can do pet battles, things like that. See, there is even an option here under handy notes for jelly deposits. Ones like that. Definitely another big one that comes in handy for me is I like to use Rarity. In this case, there are other ones out there like NPC Scan. There's Rare Scan. As you can see, I've tried a lot of these. Tomcat Tours, these sure come in handy, especially if you're still having to grind out the rare for Darkshore, Mechagon, and or Nazdajar. Highly recommend TomTom. That really gives you the coordinates. If you're not a big coordinates fan, that's fine too. And then I highly, this one tends to bug a lot, and you really got to try to update it, or you might have to turn on either. But I like to use World Quest Tracker. You'll open up the map, and boy, does that come in handy for me. So easily does it help me find the items I'm quickly looking for. And it's just a great piece. So that's a few of the ones I would highly recommend. Would be Auto Vendor. Excuse me. Can I Mog It? Garrison Mission Manager. Rarity. TomTom. And World Quest Tracker. If we're going to go with 5, I would say, well, okay, leave out Rarity for now until you get to the higher levels. But those are definitely the 5 highly recommended add-ons that I would highly recommend in retail especially. So thank you all so much. Once again, Dr. Fox here along with you. Cat's next to me. She's taking a nap. She's my producer. Right, baby? That's right, sweetheart. Oh, usually she coos for a moment. She was half awake, and I patted her, and she'll sort of lift her head up and coo. Anyway, Dr. Fox here along with you. Hope you have another great week. Get ready to stay cool. I know we're starting to have some frost advisories for those of us up here in the eastern area. I almost said Eastern Kingdoms. North America. Those that are on other parts of the world, then you've got your other seasons ahead. But I hope you all stay well this week. Have a great week. And once again, this is Dr. Fox. Remember to take 2 weekend updates. And we will see you later.